What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to give my prediction for the South Carolina Gamecocks versus the Missouri Tigers. But if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it greatly helps out my channel, and it helps me grow as a content creator. We got another SEC matchup between the South Carolina Gamecocks and the Missouri Tigers. Missouri Tigers has had, a season where they're struggling a lot, and kind of on the tail end of the SEC versus, South Carolina, a team, a lot of people not really looking at, if I'm not mistaken, they only have 2 losses on the season. Shane Beamer has done a great job so far, in my opinion, this season with the South Carolina Gamecocks. We get into the stats, guys. Like I said, South Carolina Gamecocks are currently ranked at 25 right now, and they're currently 5-2. So they're doing a pretty good job, guys. The Missouri Tigers are 3-4, and they're kind of like I said, on the tail end of the SEC. But it's going to be an interesting matchup, guys. And looking at the stats, of course, Missouri has Brady Cook at quarterback, and he has 1,428 yards on the season with 6 touchdowns, but with 7 interceptions. Like I said, not good, stats, as far as a quarterback is concerned. But Missouri had a particular game in the season where they could have pulled off an upset, but I'm gonna talk about that later. And South Carolina had Spencer Rattler, came from Oklahoma and has struggled at times, but on the season he has 1,466 yards, and he has 5 touchdowns with 8 interceptions. So like I said, both quarterbacks are kind of struggling in the passing department, but Spencer Rattler definitely is a quarterback that can put up some yards, guys. And it seems like the team is getting better as a whole overall. Of course, for rushing, Missouri has Nathaniel Pete. He has 387 yards for 2 touchdowns. And South Carolina has Marshawn Lloyd, a great player. He has 526 yards with 9 touchdowns. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in this matchup. Missouri has Dominic Lovett. He has 511 yards for 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good. And Antoine Wells for South Carolina has 412 yards for 2 touchdowns. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this matchup between these two guys. It's a unique matchup, In my opinion, I think Missouri has the slightly better defense than South Carolina does, but South Carolina has the offense. So, it's a typical matchup, offense versus defense. Points per game for Missouri, they're averaging 24 points a game. Like I said, that's not good. South Carolina's averaging 33 points a game. That's getting to, where you can, win games. The problem comes in, like I said, defensively, but South Carolina, like I said, they're getting better, Points allowed per game, Missouri's averaging, allowing 23 points a game. South Carolina's allowing 24.9. So, like I said, they're right there, as far as both teams, as far as, points per game. Total yardage, Missouri's averaging 364 yards a game. And then South Carolina is averaging 374 points a game. So like I said, both teams are right there neck and neck with each other. That's only like a 10-yard difference between the two. And if you were to break it down, Missouri is allowing 208. They're getting 208 yards through the air, and they're getting 155 on the ground. So, not where you would want it, but that's pretty decent, as far as rushing yards is concerned. In South Carolina, like I said, 374, that's 233 through the air, and that's 141 on the ground. So, like I said, both teams are kind of, the borderline the same on both sides. Yards allowed, Missouri's allowing 326, and that's 198 through the air, and that's 127 on the ground. So that's pretty good, guys, for the defense. And then South Carolina is allowing 360 yards, and that's 192 through the air and 168 on the ground. So basically, both teams flip-flop. South Carolina's allowing more rushing yards than Missouri is allowing, but Missouri is allowing more passing yards than South Carolina. So, like I said, both teams are neck and neck. But if you were to break it all down, Missouri has the better defense of the two. And I'm looking at both of the teams, opponents. Of course, Missouri could have won that game against Auburn 17-14 in overtime. The guy dropped the ball, so they would have won that game, but he dropped the ball right before he crossed to the touchdown line. So Missouri would have probably won that game against Auburn. And this is the matchup I was talking about earlier. They played Georgia really, really good at home. Georgia had to travel to Missouri, and they lost the game 26-22. But Missouri was in that game. Missouri could have won that game. I feel like if Missouri had got a touchdown that game, they would have won. But they lost that game, and Georgia has since improved, and they're back to looking like the team that we all expected them to look like coming into this season. So, but Missouri could have pulled that one off, but they didn't. They lost to Florida 24-17, another close game they could have won. And they lost to, they won against Vanderbilt 17-14. So Missouri is a team, they played everybody really, really tough. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this matchup. And just flipping on the other side, South Carolina, like I said, they took that early loss to Georgia, 48-7. Completely got blown out. And like I said, Georgia's reigning champs, and they have a lot to prove. As far as people thinking they're being disrespected and stuff like that. And they came out on fire on all cylinders in that game. So South Carolina took a tough loss there. South Carolina beat Kentucky at the time. I think Kentucky was ranked 13 at the time. That was a huge win, for South Carolina. I know Will Levis didn't play that game, but South Carolina did their part and got the victory. They beat them 24-14. Then also, South Carolina got another huge victory against Texas A&M, a team that, if I'm not mistaken, they haven't beaten since Texas. They've been in the conference, so they beat them 30-24. So that was a huge victory for South Carolina, and they look to keep the momentum going into this matchup. I'm looking at the spread. They currently have South Carolina at -4. I think this is going to be a close game, but if I had to give my prediction, I'm predicting South Carolina to get the victory here. I think they're going to improve to 6-2 and get another victory. Shane Beamer has done a heck of a job with the team that he has, and South Carolina got some good players on their team, guys. They're having a pretty good season. Like I said, they're 5-2 right now. They still have to play teams, I think, like Florida and Tennessee. I think let me check. I don't think they played Tennessee yet, but yeah, they still have to play. They play Vanderbilt, Florida, Tennessee, and Clemson. Yeah, so South Carolina they can have a good record, guys. I could probably see maybe go 8-4 this season. That'd be a huge improvement, guys. Like I said, Tennessee is looking tough right now, and Clemson is looking pretty good as well. But like I said, if I had to give my prediction for the game, I'm going with South Carolina 28-24. Like I said, I think it's going to be a close game. But like I said, South Carolina is getting better. Missouri is a game team. They're going to play tough, but I think South Carolina is going to get the victory. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll Ties.